The internet is in complete meltdown mode after Eminem was spotted in a rare emotional moment, one that no fan ever expected to see. In a world where Marshall Mathers has built his legacy on fire bars, raw honesty, and an ice-cold demeanor, a recent clip showing him thanking his daughter Hailie has left fans shocked, emotional, and asking one question: what's really going on behind the scenes? The viral moment came during what was supposed to be a quiet, intimate celebration of Hailie's growing success. But instead, cameras caught Eminem holding back tears as he publicly thanked her for something that, according to insiders, goes way deeper than anyone could imagine. Some fans are calling it the most human moment we've ever seen from him, while others claim there's something darker hiding under the surface. Sources close to the family say this wasn't just a casual thank you, it was closure, redemption, and possibly a final chapter to one of hip-hop's most emotional father-daughter stories. What triggered this outpouring? What did Hailie do that moved her father, the rap god himself, to choke up in front of millions? And is this moment signaling something bigger, like retirement, reconciliation, or a shocking family revelation that's about to unfold? Stay tuned, because this story goes way beyond what you saw in that clip. It started like any other night in Detroit. Quiet streets, a cold wind, and the hum of an old studio monitor echoing through the same walls that once birthed the slimshady LP. But something was different this time. Eminem, one of the most private men in the music industry, sat alone in his studio, staring at a faded photo of his daughter, Hailie Jade, the man who built an empire from pain. Controversy and wordplay suddenly looked human. For the first time in years, he wasn't writing bars for revenge or reflection. He was writing a message, one that would shake the internet within hours. The world found out when a small clip surfaced online. Eminem standing by a mic, eyes wet, voice trembling, whispering, "Thank you, Hailie. You saved my life." The video lasted just 22 seconds, but fans went into meltdown. Was this a teaser for a new song? A farewell message? Or something even deeper? For decades, Marshall Mathers' relationship with his daughter was the beating heart behind his music. From Mockingbird to Hailie's song, fans had witnessed a father's love survive fame, addiction, and darkness. But now, people were wondering, what happened behind the scenes that made Eminem break down like this in 2025? Inside sources close to Shady Records revealed that Eminem had been quietly working on a deeply personal project. Not an album, but a thank you record. Something he'd been planning for years but never had the emotional strength to finish. And this time, it wasn't just about Hailie. It was about closure, redemption, and legacy. Em's been distant lately, one insider told reporters anonymously. He ain't been in the spotlight much. But when he talks about Hailie, you can see it in his face. That's his anchor. He's finally ready to say everything he never said before. Word spread fast. Fans began dissecting every lyric, every old interview, every social media post Hailie had ever made. The theory mill exploded. One fan on X, formerly Twitter, wrote, "I swear Hailie helped her dad get sober back in the day. This message is about how she literally saved him." Another added, "If Eminem's thanking her now, something serious went down we don't know about." Then came the biggest twist, a leaked voice note allegedly recorded during a late-night studio session. In the clip, Eminem can be heard saying, "I used to think I had to be the villain in my own story, but she showed me I could still be somebody's hero." That one line sent chills through social media. Fans called it the most vulnerable thing Eminem has ever said. Blogs started speculating that the rapper might be retiring soon, and that this thank you was his emotional goodbye to the industry that made, and nearly broke, him. But just as fans were processing all that, Hailie herself added fuel to the fire. She posted a photo on Instagram, no caption, just a picture of her and her dad sitting in front of a microphone. Within an hour, the internet lost its mind. The post got over 2 million likes in a day, and the comments were filled with messages like, "This is history," "We're not ready for what's coming," and "Slim Shady is about to make us cry again," behind closed doors, though things weren't as simple as they seemed. According to insiders, this new project had sparked tension within Eminem's camp. Some of his closest friends allegedly worried he was revealing too much. One longtime associate reportedly told him, "Bro, the world doesn't deserve this side of you. They'll twist it." But Em refused to listen. He told them, "I don't care if it breaks me. This one's for her." Those words echoed through the walls of Shady Records. People who were in the studio said you could feel the emotion in the air. raw, unfiltered, almost spiritual. For a man who spent decades hiding behind alter egos and metaphors, this was the real Marshall Mathers stepping forward. But then came another unexpected twist. Rumors that Hailie had actually helped write part of the new project. Multiple sources online claimed she contributed voiceovers, journal entries, and even a few spoken word lines to the final version. If true, that would mark the first time father and daughter ever collaborated publicly, something fans had dreamed about for years. A leaked message from an engineer on the project hinted at what might be coming. This ain't just music. It's like listening to a father talk to his daughter through time. By this point, TikTok was flooded with fan edits, emotional tributes, and decade-old clips of Eminem mentioning Hailie in interviews. One viral video showed a 2002 clip of M saying, "She's my reason for everything. Without her, there's no Marshall Mathers." The comment section turned into a digital therapy session. Fans opening up about their own relationships with their parents, their struggles, their hope, but not everyone was buying it. Some skeptics online started pushing their own theories. One post with over 100K likes claimed, "This isn't a thank you message. It's a PR setup for a final album." Others accused Eminem of playing with emotions to promote something big. A few even dragged up old controversies, saying he was trying to rebrand himself as the emotional dad figure to repair his image. Regardless, the buzz was unstoppable. Within a week, Eminem thanking Hailie became one of the most searched topics in the entertainment world. Even other celebrities started chiming in. 50 Cent posted a cryptic tweet. "That man's been through hell and back. Salute to real fatherhood." Dr. Dre, on the other hand, stayed silent, which only made fans more curious. But the most surprising reaction came from Hailie herself during a podcast appearance. When asked about her father's emotional clip, she smiled softly and said, "My dad's not just a rapper. He's a survivor. And I think people forget that sometimes." Her tone was calm, but her eyes said more than words ever could. She didn't confirm or deny anything, but her support spoke volumes. Still, as the story continued unfolding, some fans began wondering what exactly had triggered Eminem to finally open up like this. Was it something personal between them? Had there been tension that no one knew about? Rumors swirled that there had been a falling out between father and daughter a few years ago, one that nearly broke their bond. Whatever the truth was, one thing was clear. This wasn't just another celebrity moment. This was history. The same man who once shouted at the world through anger was now whispering thank you with humility, and fans couldn't get enough. The clip might have only lasted a few seconds, but what came after changed everything. Overnight, every hip-hop page, every podcast, every reaction channel was dissecting Eminem's emotional message. From TMZ to underground rap blogs, everyone wanted answers. What was going on with the rap god? Why now? Why thank Hailie publicly after years of keeping their bond private? Inside sources close to the family revealed that this wasn't a random moment of sentiment. It was a buildup of 20 years of guilt, growth, and love. One producer who's been with Eminem since the recovery era said, "He's been carrying this letter for years, bro. Writing it, erasing it, rewriting it. But he could never finish it. He didn't think he deserved to say thank you." Apparently, the thank you moment wasn't planned. It happened during a late-night session in Detroit, where Eminem was recording a track called Grateful. The song was supposed to be about his comeback and survival, but halfway through recording, he stopped mid-bar, stared at the mic, and broke character. He whispered, "Thank you, Hailie," and walked out of the booth. The engineer kept the mic rolling, catching every breath, every tremor in his voice. That raw clip, never meant for public ears, somehow got leaked online. No label strategy. No marketing stunt. Just real emotion slipping into the world unfiltered. One insider said, "When that clip dropped, we all panicked. But then, M saw the reaction. He didn't stop it. He just said, maybe they need to hear it." That's when we knew he wasn't hiding anymore. But behind the applause and emotional tweets, there was something deeper. A backstory that very few people knew. Around 2020, Eminem and Hailie reportedly had a falling out. Sources close to the family said it started small. Creative differences over her podcast, her lifestyle choices, and M's struggle to let her grow up. One person claimed that at one point, he was so protective, it started to feel controlling. There was tension between them, and for nearly a year, they barely spoke. Hailie focused on her podcasting and brand collaborations, while Eminem stayed quiet, channeling his pain into writing. Fans didn't know it at the time, but this silent rift nearly tore their bond apart. A friend of Hailie's allegedly said, "She loves her dad, no question, but she wanted to be seen as more than just Eminem's daughter." That's where the struggle came in. During that rough patch, insiders said Eminem went through one of his darkest emotional spirals since relapse. Not drugs this time, just guilt, isolation, and regret. The same man who once stood on top of the world felt powerless when it came to the one person he loved most. In one leaked text message shared by a close associate, Eminem allegedly wrote, "I used to rap about protecting her from the world. I didn't realize I was building a wall between us instead." That line broke fans when it surfaced. People were crying in the comments saying, "This is the most father thing Em could ever say." But here's where things took a shocking turn. Around 2023, while Eminem was quietly rebuilding his relationship with Hailie, she went through her own life changes, getting engaged, moving into a new phase of adulthood, stepping into her own independence. And while the world saw a picture-perfect father-daughter bond online, behind closed doors, they were both working through years of unspoken emotions. One day, Hailie reportedly showed up at her dad's studio without warning. She told him she was ready to talk. Witnesses said the conversation lasted over 4 hours. No cameras, no crew. Just a father and daughter in tears. She allegedly told him, "You don't have to keep apologizing for the past. You already gave me everything, even when you didn't have anything left." People who were nearby said Eminem just sat there silently for a minute, then hugged her and whispered, "You're the reason I'm still here." It was after that night that he started working on his Thank You project. Not an album meant for radio, but something deeply personal, meant only for her and maybe a handful of loyal fans who'd grown up with his story. But as with anything in the music world, privacy doesn't last long. Word spread fast about a mysterious Hailie project that Eminem had been recording in secret. The buzz was insane. Fans on Reddit began posting alleged track lists and decoded snippets. Some titles included "Her Name Means Home," "Letters I Never Sent," and "Silent Hero." None of it was confirmed, but the hype was uncontrollable. One supposed insider even leaked part of a lyric where Eminem raps, "Every time I fell, she was there to remind me who I was before fame had me blinded." Even veteran rappers started chiming in. Fat Joe posted on IG, "Real men grow up and learn gratitude." That's the real gangsta move. Busta Rhymes commented fire emojis under a clip of the alleged leak. And then, just when the internet thought they'd seen it all, Hailie herself hinted that she might be involved in the project. During a Q&A on her podcast, she laughed off a fan question asking if she'd ever collab with her dad, but then added, "Let's just say, some memories deserve a soundtrack." That one line lit social media on fire. Every gossip outlet, every entertainment channel, every fan page, they all had the same question. Was Hailie finally stepping into the booth with her father? The idea of it alone sent fans into emotional chaos. After all, for 2 decades, Eminem's entire career had been built on his love and pain over Hailie. Hearing them together on a record, it would be the ultimate full-circle moment. But there was also talk of resistance from the label. Some insiders claimed Shady Records executives were against the idea, worried it would dilute Eminem's edge. One insider even said Dre himself was skeptical at first, reportedly telling Em, "You built Shady off pain, not peace. You sure you want to show them this side?" To which Eminem allegedly responded, "Yeah, Dre, it's time." Fans started speculating that this project would mark the end of Eminem's rap career, his final chapter before retirement. TikTok filled with emotional tributes titled, "The Day Slim Shady Grew Up." Clips of Em from the early 2000s were edited side by side with recent photos of him smiling with Hailie, creating a powerful narrative of evolution and healing. But behind that healing was still a lot of emotional weight. A close source revealed that while working on the Thank You project, Eminem would often break down during sessions. Sometimes he'd stop recording midline and just stare into space, they said. You could tell he was reliving everything. The nights on the floor, the court battles, the loss, the guilt. It wasn't rap therapy anymore. It was real therapy. And even though fans were emotional, there were darker whispers surfacing too. People claiming something about the project was being covered up. Rumors started that there was an unreleased track that cut too deep. A confession that might never see the light of day. Music blogger leaked a message claiming one of the verses included Eminem admitting he nearly gave up on life before hearing, Hailie's voice one night. She walked into my room and said, "Daddy, can we eat?" And that pulled me back from the edge. If that verse ever drops, the internet might not survive it. But little did anyone know. The real emotional storm was yet to come. Just when it seemed like Eminem's thank you moment had turned into one of the most touching father-daughter stories in hip-hop history, everything exploded. Again. Late one night, a mysterious SoundCloud account posted a short, grainy snippet titled Hailie Unreleased MP3. The upload barely lasted an hour before it was taken down. But not before thousands of fans ripped it and spread it across TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube. The leaked track wasn't a rough freestyle or a recycled verse. It was raw. It was trembling. It was human. And in it, you could clearly hear Eminem's voice breaking as he said the line that would set the entire internet ablaze. "When I lost myself, you held on tighter. If I didn't have you, I'd have let go of life entirely." Those words hit like a tidal wave. Within minutes, hashtags like Hailie Song and Eminem Thank You were trending worldwide. Fans were crying, rappers were reacting, and media outlets were scrambling to confirm if it was real. Even Hailie's podcast went silent for a full 48 hours. No posts, no stories, nothing. But then things got even more chaotic. A second clip surfaced, this time a voice that didn't belong to Eminem. It was Hailie. The leaked file contained her softly spoken voice at the end of the track saying, "You don't owe me anything. Dad, just keep being you." That single line changed everything. It was no longer just a private message from a father to his daughter. It was a two-way conversation. A generational closure. A healing moment for the most guarded man in hip-hop and the daughter who grew up in his shadow. But of course, the industry couldn't just let it breathe. Almost immediately, the clip triggered chaos behind the scenes. Label reps, attorneys, and executives started calling emergency meetings. One insider from Shady Records revealed there were literal shouting matches in the office. Nobody could figure out who leaked it or how. Dre was furious. Paul Rosenberg was trying to do damage control. But he was quiet, completely calm. He just said, maybe it's time they heard the truth. Meanwhile, fans were analyzing every syllable. Some claimed the verse sounded too personal to be new, speculating it had been recorded years ago during Eminem's relapse. Others believed it was part of his rumored final album, one that would serve as his farewell letter to music and family. Podcasts and YouTube channels dedicated to rap culture blew up overnight. One host said, "You can't fake that kind of emotion. You can hear the pain in his breathing. This isn't Slimshady talking. This is Marshall Mathers, the dad, the broken man, the survivor." As social media flooded with think pieces, even celebrities began reacting. 50 Cent posted on Instagram, "That's real love. You can't cap that." Snoop Dogg, who famously had tension with M in the past, commented a single line, "Respect." And just like that, the internet turned a private healing moment into a cultural event. But what fans didn't see was the storm brewing behind closed doors. According to someone close to Hailie, she was deeply shaken by the leak. It wasn't about fame or privacy, it was about timing. She reportedly wanted to release the message together with her father, on their own terms, as a joint tribute. That same source said, Hailie's not mad at her dad. She's mad at the situation. She wanted that message to come from both of them, not from a hacker. Eminem, on the other hand, was reportedly torn. For years, he'd lived by one rule: control the narrative. And now, the most vulnerable piece of his story was out there for the world to pick apart. But instead of lashing out or sending takedowns, he stayed silent. Then came the surprise move nobody saw coming. Eminem uploaded a cryptic black and white video on his official YouTube channel titled, "Thank You, a letter from Dad." It was less than 2 minutes long, no beats, no verses, no flashy visuals. Just a shaky camera pointing at an old notebook, pages filled with messy handwriting, with his voice narrating softly in the background. I never knew how to say thank you right. Maybe words never fit what I felt. But if I never said it enough, you saved me. And that's the truth. At the end of the video, the words, "For Hailie, for all the kids who saved their parents without knowing it," appeared on screen before fading to black. That was it. No explanation. No follow-up post. No comments allowed. No follow-up post. No comments allowed. The video racked up over 50 million views in less than 24 hours. Fans were in tears, calling it the most beautiful goodbye Eminem had ever given. Some even started speculating that it was his official retirement announcement, that this was him passing the torch to Hailie. closing the book on Slim Shady for good. But the story didn't stop there. A week later, multiple entertainment outlets started reporting that Hailie had filed paperwork to trademark a new brand called Orbit Records. Insiders hinted that it was a joint venture with her father, meant to blend music, mental health advocacy, and storytelling. And that's when fans realized the thank you wasn't an ending. It was a beginning, however, not everyone was celebrating. A former associate of Eminem's camp came forward claiming the entire thank you narrative was being exaggerated. He suggested that the leaks were orchestrated for publicity leading up to a new documentary. He told reporters, "Come on, man. You think anything in that camp happens by accident? Em don't do leaks. Everything's planned to a T. It's business, not therapy." But fans weren't buying it. The emotion in those recordings was too real, too raw to be a PR stunt. Even industry veterans defended Eminem's authenticity. One famous producer said, "If you've ever sat in a studio with Em, you'd know that man doesn't fake pain. He bottles it up until it spills out. And this time, it spilled out in front of the whole world." Still, questions remained. Who leaked the files? Was it someone from the studio? A hacker? Or was it someone in M's circle trying to push him to finally share his gratitude? In a bizarre twist, a Reddit post claiming to be from an anonymous engineer surfaced days later. The user claimed responsibility, writing, "He was never gonna release it." I saw the message. The world deserved to hear a father heal. Whether that post was real or fake didn't matter. The internet had already written its own story. One of redemption, vulnerability, and closure. Even late-night hosts got involved. Jimmy Fallon played a snippet on his show saying, "This is the most heartfelt thing Eminem's ever done. Forget beefs, forget disses. This is about love." By now, every outlet, from Rolling Stone to Complex, was calling the thank you leak the most emotional moment in Eminem's career since Mockingbird. But unlike that song, this wasn't a message to the world. It was a whisper from a father to a daughter that the world happened to overhear. And while fans were celebrating, a new mystery started brewing, a rumored final concert in Detroit, with a single, emotional title, Letter to Hailie. The whispers said this wasn't just a performance. It was the closing act of Eminem's career. A farewell show, one night only. No media, no guests. Just him, a mic, and a story that had finally come full circle. But would Hailie join him on stage? That question alone was enough to send the internet into meltdown mode. Detroit. A freezing night in late December. The city lights glowed through the fog, the streets lined with fans, cameras, and pure anticipation. The Fox Theater's marquee read one simple phrase in bold red letters. Letter to Hailie, one night only, no tour dates. No ticket pre-sales. No promo posts. Just an email sent to a few select fans with the subject line, "You've been part of my story, come see how it ends." Within hours, tickets were gone. People camped outside in the cold, crying, rapping his verses to keep warm. News vans circled the block. The world had no idea what to expect. Was it a farewell? A confession? Or just another myth in the long legend of Eminem? Inside, the stage was bare. No flashy lights, no giant screens. Just a mic, a stool, and a single spotlight. When Eminem walked out, the crowd erupted. Not in chaos, but in a wave of respect. The roar turned into silence as he stood there in his hoodie, gripping the mic, looking older, calmer, more human than ever. He took a deep breath and started speaking. "I've said a lot in my life. Too much sometimes. But tonight ain't about me talking. It's about me saying what I never said enough." The crowd held its breath. He didn't rap, "Lose Yourself." He didn't perform Stan. Instead, a piano started playing softly, the same melody from the leaked Hailie unreleased .mp3. And then it happened. A second figure appeared from the side of the stage. The crowd gasped. It was Hailie, no makeup, no spotlight glam. Just her, walking up with the quiet confidence of someone who finally understood her place in a story bigger than fame. She smiled at her father, took the mic next to him, and said softly, "I think it's time we finish it together." For the next 4 minutes, the world witnessed something nobody thought they'd ever see. Eminem and Hailie performing together. The song wasn't about fame or pain. It was about healing. The chorus repeated, "Thank you for staying. When I was gone in my own head, thank you for praying. When I thought I was better off dead." People in the audience were openly crying. Grown men who grew up blasting the real Slim Shady were wiping tears under their hoodies. It wasn't a rap concert anymore. It was therapy in real time. Halfway through the performance, M paused. The music faded and he looked out at the audience. When I wrote Mockingbird, I thought that was my closure. But I was wrong. This, he pointed to Hailie, this is my closure. I spent years thanking the wrong people, chasing peace in the wrong places. But everything I was looking for was right there the whole time. The crowd erupted into applause, but M wasn't done. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. Old, creased, and stained. This was written back in 2006. I never had the guts to read it, but tonight's the night. He unfolded it, his voice cracking as he began to read. Dear Hailie, if you ever read this, just know, none of this means anything without you. Every fight, every headline, every song. I was just trying to build a world where you could breathe free of my mistakes. I love you more than I'll ever say on a beat. By the time he finished, the audience was on their feet, cheering, crying, screaming his name. Cameras captured what looked like tears rolling down his face, something you almost never see from Eminem on stage. And then, in one of the most viral moments of the year, Hailie hugged her dad tightly. He whispered something in her ear. Nobody could hear what, but she nodded, smiling through tears. Moments later, the lights dimmed, and the big screen behind them lit up with a message in white letters. Thank you, Hailie. Thank you, Detroit. This isn't goodbye. It's gratitude. The crowd screamed his name as he left the stage, hand in hand with his daughter. Within hours, the internet went into total meltdown. Every major outlet was covering it. Eminem's emotional farewell performance with daughter Hailie became the top trending story across YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Clips from the concert hit tens of millions of views overnight. Fans wrote things like, "We watched Slim Shady become Marshall again tonight." That wasn't a concert. That was closure. Even artists who'd once feuded with him spoke out. Machine Gun Kelly tweeted, "Respect. No hate, just love." That took courage. 50 Cent reposted a clip with the caption, "That's my brother. Always was, always will be." But there was another layer. Fans noticed something strange during the live stream. After the final bow, the house lights flickered for a second, revealing a giant logo behind the stage. Orbit Records, the same name that had leaked weeks earlier as Hailie's new company. And suddenly it all made sense. The farewell wasn't about quitting, it was about rebirth. Eminem wasn't leaving music. He was passing it on. In the days that followed, Hailie posted a statement on her podcast page. That night wasn't planned to be viral. It was just something we needed to do. But if our story helps one parent say thank you to their kid, or one kid forgive their parent, then it was worth it. Eminem himself finally broke silence with one post. A black and white photo of him and Hailie backstage. Arms around each other, captioned simply, "Gratitude, always." That single word shattered the internet again. It became a meme, a quote, a tattoo, but not everyone was convinced this was the end. Industry insiders whispered that the Orbit Records logo appearing at the concert wasn't accidental. Rumors spread that Em and Hailie were secretly working on a father-daughter documentary called Thank You, The Story of Us. Fans theorized that it would feature unseen footage from their early life. Home videos, letters, and even the making of Mockingbird. One journalist described it perfectly. It's not just a story about a rapper. It's a story about a father trying to make peace with the child who watched him survive fame. And then came one last surprise. 3 weeks later, on New Year's Eve, a new Spotify notification dropped. Eminem and Hailie, thank you, live from Detroit. It wasn't just the concert audio, it was remastered, complete with snippets of their backstage talk. You could hear Hailie laughing nervously before stepping out, and Eminem telling her, "You got this, baby girl." The track hit #1 globally within 24 hours. It became the fastest streamed live recording in Spotify history. In the comments, fans wrote, "This is what real love sounds like. No rap beef, no ego, just father and daughter healing in public." From there, everything changed. Hailie announced a mental health and music nonprofit called The Gratitude Project, co-founded with her dad. Eminem began mentoring young Detroit rappers under the Orbit label. And in his first interview after months of silence, he told Rolling Stone, "For years I thought success was about proving people wrong. But turns out it was about saying thank you to the people who kept me right." So now the world looks at Eminem differently. Not just as the angry rapper who battled demons, fame, and addiction, but as a man who finally learned to say thank you. His legacy didn't end in controversy. It ended in compassion. Hailie, once the shy child hidden behind verses, became the symbol of growth and forgiveness. Together, they turned pain into purpose. But fans still ask, was this truly the final chapter of Eminem's story? Or just the beginning of something even deeper? Because if you listen closely to that last live track, right at the end, you can hear him whisper, "Slimshady's gone. Marshall's home." And maybe that's the real thank you he was always trying to say. If you've been following this emotional journey, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Eminem's really done, or is he just getting started on a new chapter with Hailie? Hit that like button if you felt the emotion, and don't forget to subscribe for more real, raw stories just like this one. Because this isn't just music news, it's a moment in history.